ndo mari yangu like unosendera mari palife. Hapana maview especially na Zozo. Hapana to like.
Hanzi ndakubvunza kuti uri papi? Ndakubvunza kuti ndiri papi naseva wangu.
Naseva? What?
1 2 3.
1 2 3.
Third row.
Far right.
Third row.
Far right.
Far right. Far right. But to the left. Third row.
Right, man.
Right.
Shaped up bright.
Far left, it's far left. Right. Right side, third row, far left. Now that is a good one.
You should do too much fun. Funny one. Then you try with young and the Baisa.
Wonderful. Yesterday.
Then she didn't dinner data.
Kuna wanikaenda atiperere ngwane waona tama atiperere ne
Undangisha Linux ni population. Unizo Linux.
Linux,
Dembo ishanza but I know you far.
Ini non tinakitse.
Do you inongobulisa soka Linux?
No. This is Mac.
But inoshanda is Mac yoyi.
No, Linux ngiri kumusoro kuma icons anenge ari kumusoro kwe waishandisa
Ubuntu. Apa zviri kuita uona zviri kuita.
Maybe waishandisa Ubuntu.
Nandeke pe ku EU. With a laptop and also Linux like usina save a space.
Save a space. One director, so it's 1 2 3 4.
1 2 3. I what are here?
Amen.
Ayo, we hapana pe kugara.
But amen. Tangwa sendera. Right side, third row, far left.
Kimi muri kupa vunzo muri.
Ano ndongoshia kadaro.
Vanokuzwa face yapo.
Yeah, vanondizwa. Inini ndiri munhu anozoziva.
Ka treble dikangu deka togara. Takustream aka.
maybe zvinoshowa kuti vadoshowa kuti vaita new iteration mukoti but even yemurai zvinoti I doubt if that server is secured kana Econet yakarwa neDOS.
Serious?
Yeah, doesn't that I doubt WhatsApp you can use numerate. But chidu chiri vanhu vanofara kuheka tichakugwara tichavateroraiza tichavasunguruta haini chavashunguruta amaindians ndokwa but I doubt kana vachimbuka maindians because you can't tell me iyo ndikutaura zvakaitika pese. Number one chakatanga kuitika kuEconet they are kwani rude. Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you. Just fine.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but beautiful. Yakarwa neDOS. I'm just a student. Ndangobvunzwawo zvakaitika panetwork yavo ndinganoseva tinoti haazotauri zvavo but ndo zviritoripo. It means kuti muno mucybersec ichanidwa zvekusiria. Yeah. Oh yeah, ndione phone yangu.
No, mzunichaid.
Which one you go? Yeah.
Difference in my seat
I are more comfortable. Ndakatopinda pa Chinese over there.
Chauri kunoti ari kuskipa maid dzangu, takasori maid dzangu ari kuskipwa zeye pamusoro.
Yeah, income.
Boya pa ndo anobhadhara.
Ima uena chikwe. Zvakaita zvekuti imomu zvangu ndo wakaendeswa ikoko. Kwa hiyo it was invasion. But it was fascinating. Ona zvaitwa mina ndorake. Kuti ndikinawo mavideo acho. Yeah. Miraoni. Ile fungo zake ndikodi.
Zini ai.
Zvakaitika sei?
Zibuzi wakambotapula stick nemoto daira sina moto kunotari
kuku Chinese uyu apa China nezvombo amanaka. Zvaita kuita
Upepe paishiwa Trump. Paishiwa Trump.
Uyu kwautariswa Chinese New Year. Ndakaona vachimacha nezvombo zvavo ndakabva ndapa kutenda ndakati
ndo pakatanga kucheka Trump.
Ona
One person.
Usidepa vasina moto egonoti apula stick
Saka image here.
Magic.
Aiwa, is technology.
Undandiri kwa Chinese New Year huko.
Ngori kupi
Ku celebration center.
hapa inaenda celebration center after the day before.
Please, do you remember this? Yes. If you have it, please take it out. Please take it out. Thank you. I see you with your phone. Thank you. Take it out. When you have it, put it out. Bring it Bring it down. Now, you know what to do, right? Go to the camera application. Go to the camera application. Let me see. Let me get can I get a picture with someone? I want to get a picture with someone. Who should I get a picture with? Over here. I think you're J3.
Manje dzidi mbudzika idzongodawo nema iPhone check.
I want to let the world know that I'm here. I just Are we doing a picture or a video?
Picture.
We'll do both. Yes. First the picture. Now the video. Hey, don't let me down, guys. This is going on my social media.
Hey.
Please smile. Somebody say, wow.
Oh wow.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Moment, one opportunity to Our solution to that gentlemen are through any of the exits, but behind the main auditorium. If you get lost, please ask that question. Did you learn anything yesterday?
We were renting
I
here.
have something to give away to someone. I have something to give away to someone. Who wants something? Who wants something to give? Man with the pink. You would like a free gift? Right. I have a very simple question for you. What is my name? Arthur? Well, then please come forward. Please, could you see the gentleman on your right here? His name is Brian. Brian, please find on the side of my bag a business card. I'll give you a physical one. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through a host of information. What's important is that you know that in this morning session, we are here. All right? Tell your neighbor, don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Disappear.
We are here in the morning. Once we break for lunch, there's a very exciting breakaway room in the VIP lounge, which is on the left of the auditorium, it's outside. It is not as big as this room, so you need to get there very quickly once that breakaway starts. And that breakaway room is going to be at 2:30, a panel discussion called IP and Compliance for Digital Enterprises. At 3:30, we have an artist performance, and we will also have the ongoing hackathon, the partner demos, and the gaming tournament. Please go to the registration desk and get directions as to where those things are happening. We still have a few free seats on the side here. If you're from a school, which school is that at the top left? Shout it out. Say proud. Happy with Girls High. Can I upgrade you? Can I upgrade you very quickly? How many of you are from Hatfield? Girls High? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No fair.
The 9 of you. Please could you come down and sit in these 9 seats over here so that you're closer. We're very passionate about schools, we're very passionate about the future. At Econet Expo, we are grooming innovators right from the ground up. Alright, please move quickly back before I change my mind. Before we get going, every innovation comes from on high. The Bible says that there is nothing new under the sun. So whatever we're thinking of, let's go boldly into that step. But before we do, I'd like to begin with a word of prayer, and I'd like to call upon a very good doctor whose eyes are on the Most High. Please could you help me welcome Dr. Andrew Nyambayo from Econet to give us our opening prayer. He comes to speak with you now. For a big wow.
Thank you very much, and very good morning to everybody. Shall we bow our heads in prayer? Father, in the name of Jesus, we come before you this day. We thank you for your mercy and your favor, which is upon each and every one upon us, O Lord. We ask, Lord, that you grant us wisdom, knowledge, understanding, that our eyes may be enlightened, our minds may be open, that there may be breakthrough innovations in our meetings, that we may transform our nation and nations beyond. My Lord, I pray for your favor, open doors, open opportunities. I pray for health and well-being. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Yeah.
Somebody say, wow.
Wow.
Okay, I'm ready for today. I'm ready for today. Did you get the car? You did? Okay. I just feel the power in my hand. Amazing, isn't it? Now you have my WhatsApp number, my calling number. I'm a Nigerian guy, so remember I'll be praying Nigeria. Everybody put your right hand up. Put your left hand up. Put your right hand up. Put your left hand up. Right. Left. Right. Left. Raise the All right. Right hand up. Left hand up. Put it together once. Put it together twice. If you love innovation, put it together 3 times. If you're an innovator, clap 4 times. If you're the next history maker, clap 5 times. If you believe you're sitting next to a groundbreaker, clap once.
Now, somebody clap your hands up. I'm a Pan-Africanist today. I'm a Pan-Africanist.
Believe in yourself.
Groundbreaker.
Like Joshua Maponga, guys.
Clap 20 times quickly. Somebody say, wow. We're continuing in Stay Tuned, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to be starting with our opening remarks. I'd like to acknowledge the Econet executive present here today and any government official and civic leaders present here today. To our partners and their executives and management, thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2. I'd like to welcome for our opening remarks the Econet Chief Technical Officer, Mr. Edward Banda. As he comes through, ladies and gentlemen, please give him a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to remind you of 1998 or thereabouts, when we launched mobile telecommunications. So I don't know if you all remember, but it was, at that point it was called Runare, meaning a cell phone for the rich or a telephone for the rich. But when Econet came in, it was transformed to Bagi, your friend in your pocket. So I think this is very important for us to remember as we look at technology and how we embrace it. So, good morning, everyone. Esteemed guests, industry leaders, policymakers, and especially our young brilliant minds and entrepreneurs. It is with my immense excitement that I welcome you today to this Innovation Expo, focusing on technology, creativity, and collaboration. It is a powerful formula for national success. It condenses how we must harness innovation, apply ingenuity, and work together to build a prosperous Zimbabwe. The global technology landscape is rapidly shifting. Driven by forces we must not only embrace but lead. Innovation becomes a perfect Innovation becomes transformation when it is built for real-time adoption. not perfect conditions. We also focus on 4 critical pillars of this transformation for which Econet is already invested as a critical partner, building on the guardrails, networks, platforms, and APIs that let the ecosystem build faster. So we have 5G connectivity providing ultra-fast, reliable networks that make all real-time collaborations possible. Cloud computing, the shared scalable platforms that grant access to powerful resources, democratizing innovation for every citizen and enterprise. Artificial intelligence, the intelligence layer that maximizes our efficiency, freeing up human capacity for deeper creativity. The Internet of Things, the system of connected devices that bridges the gap between digital and physical world, allowing us to monitor, manage, and optimize our factories, our cities, our farms with unprecedented precision. And of course, cybersecurity is no longer just an IT issue, it is business survival. Let us be clear, technology is unstoppable. It is not a trend to be cautiously observed. It is an undeniable force. The choice before us is stark. Embrace this wave as a tool for national development or stand aside while others move ahead and develop. We must not be left behind. But technology alone is inept. It requires creativity, the uniquely Zimbabwean ingenuity to mold devices and data into relevant solutions. It demands collaboration, the willingness of government, industry, academia, and citizens to work together to deploy those solutions nationwide. This approach is our essential roadmap for uplifting the lives of all Zimbabweans. We create productivity through IoT sensors in agriculture, mining, feeding data into AI in the cloud, and we boost efficiencies and make Zimbabwe a globally competitive. We create equity using 5G to connect our rural clinics with real-time data and specialized expertise. We ensure every citizen has access to vital services. My call out to startups, founders, and SMEs, build with the customer in mind, not with code. Engineer reliability and not just knowledge. To corporates, your next advantage may be co-built with a startup. Create room for experimentation and shared values. Investors, fund execution and go-to-market readiness. Support governance and compliance maturity. And to regulators, co-create frameworks that protect trust and accelerate innovation. And of course, to our young minds and students here present. The future is not something you inherit. It is something you actively build. You are not future innovators. You are innovators now. We look forward to fiercely apply your creativity and engage in collaborative discussions across sectors to bring high impact solutions to life. Your energy is the engine to our national development. Let this Expo be the spark that lets us build a committed environment where technology, creativity, and collaboration are not just an aspiration, but the living, breathing reality of our national development. The future of Zimbabwe is digital, collaborative, and creative. And the future starts today with all of us. Thank you.
So what I heard from that welcome is an invitation to all innovators, an invitation to engage Econet at the Econet Innovate Expo and beyond. Mr. Banda said that you are the innovators now, not tomorrow, but now. And our task is to build the future that we need. those of you that were here yesterday, I have a 3-second challenge. It's not open to everyone, but it's important to shift mindset. If you have a free seat next to you or in front of you, I'm giving you 3 seconds to change your seat. Starting now. 3, 2, 1. Everyone that changed the seat, you're getting ready for the preaching. Well done for your paradigm shift, shifting your position. We are not going to get anywhere as a country with this conversation unless we are prepared to shift things. I'm curious to know, I want 3 volunteers to tell me one thing that they learned yesterday. All right, 3 volunteers. Quickly come to the front, plus you get a picture on one of the panel chairs. All right. Who was here yesterday? Sir, please come through. All right. Please come through. Thank you. Ma'am, the laptop in front of you? Yes. Thank you so much. Right? Please grab the microphone. Okay. So 3 things. Was yesterday a waste of time? I don't think so. So we're going to find out. Please take a seat. It's an impromptu panel. All right. In 30 seconds, I want you to tell me what you learned. Our third speaker panelist will come through. And the reason why I'm doing this, ladies and gentlemen, is to remind you that you are not here just to attend or mark a register. Engage in the conversation. Don't only learn, but engage. There are exhibitions outside, there are service providers, Econet executives and staff are here. Engage them and begin the dialogue. I believe in everything, in the organization that I work for. One of the principles we have is there is no such thing as a stupid question. Okay? Because 50 years ago, 30 years ago, the things that we thought were impossible or maybe stupid have been invented. So, please introduce yourself, say your name. I'll give you an opportunity to also say if you're from a company or a company you're from, and then the one thing that you learned from yesterday.
My name is Econet, and I'm coming from an organization called Online Trust, where we focus on digital skills development for young people, women, and small to medium enterprises. So one of the learnings that I had was from Natalie Jamagwe. I think the evolution of artificial intelligence was one of the things that I always wanted to hear from a different perspective. But yesterday she gave us examples of organizations that failed to innovate and they were taken out of business. So that was my takeaway. If you're a startup, a small to medium enterprise, or a woman-owned business, if you do not adopt to innovation and technology, you might end up.
Absolutely. I'll be pleased to let you know that Econet is an equal opportunity employer. So if you're a girl child, if you're a woman, don't feel as though there's a differential. Econet executives are willing to discuss anything with everyone. It's exciting that you what you're working on.
Hello everyone, I'm Munashe Nzembe. I'm a dog behavioral scientist, the only dog behavioral scientist in Africa. I also to invest in other countries. So I own 3 operating companies that I own. And we have what technology and human is. That's what we do. And we have also subsidiaries, so far in Kenya and Mauritius.
That's what you learn in other countries.
And that's what we are doing.
Okay. For today's session, it's going to be very interesting for you. How do you get to invest in other countries? How do you get funding in one of the conversations?
It's like yesterday I learned a lot, but let me cut it short. The most crucial one, which was interesting I learned about was, it doesn't matter what age you are. It's better to start invest at your age now, because it takes time.
All right, well done. Well done. Could you please stand together? Welcome to Econet E-Novate Expo. text energy. That's why the theme is future ready text energy. And you could be standing next to your next business partner. And this is the story, this is the narrative that we want to create. We are starting from within. Our speakers are coming from within Zimbabwe. They understand where they're coming from and we want to create success stories. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Today we've got a very exciting direction. Technology is always changing, and we want to be at the heartbeat of change. So based on the discussions we had yesterday, and based on the feedback that we got from you, as Econet, we're a company that listens to what you need and what you feel you need. So there was a lot of conversation and a lot of desire for AI. How does AI fit into Zimbabwe? How does it fit into the African narrative? What is happening? Are we ready for artificial intelligence? To what extent can we integrate artificial intelligence in Zimbabwe? From grassroots, can we be a vendor on the street and be using AI? If I've got a startup, how do I use AI? So what we've done something very, very special. We're going to give you some insights from the heartbeat of Econet. Now, if you know what's happening in the ecosystem of Econet holdings, there's a lot of investment flowing into AI. So we want to share something. The lady that's got my business card, what we're about to share with you is probably more exclusive than my business card. Is that okay with you? Can we share something exclusive with you?
Yes.
We are going to give you insight into some of the thoughts from the AI division at Econet. I thought that's where you're going to say, wow. Maybe you didn't hear me. We're going to give you insights into the AI division at Econet. Somebody say, wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special keynote speaker that based on the feedback we got from you, based on what you want to know, we have someone extremely special, on demand, because it's the information you want. We've asked them, they've obliged, and they're going to connect with us online, all the way from their distant office. So to share the surprise with you, ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker is, and I'm not going to share their name, but I'll tell you what they do. They are the Chief Operating Officer for Econet AI. Wow. You've taken time to be with us today. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Maria Chinomwe, the General Manager for Technology Services for Econet, to introduce this heavyweight, the surprise that we have, the opportunity that we have ahead of us. As she comes through, ladies and gentlemen, please give her a round of applause. And for your big surprise, we can say, wow.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Navdeep Kapoor. He is the Chief Operating Officer for Econet AI Zimbabwe, as mentioned, where he leads the company's AI strategy and execution across the Econet and cassava technology spaces. Mr. Kapoor has a strong academic foundation, having trained as a chemical engineer, followed by a master's in business administration degree and the Global Leaders Program from INSEAD, equipping him with a rare blend of engineering rigor, business leadership, and global perspective. He brings with him over 25 years of experience in the telecommunications industry, having worked extensively across Asia and multiple African markets, including Nigeria, Zambia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. Mr. Kapoor has worked in organizations such as Vodafone, Idea, Global, as well as Airtel. As a commercial leader, Mr. Kapoor has managed a customer base of over 22 million subscribers and delivered annual revenues exceeding $1.1 billion. US, driving growth, innovation, and customer-centric transformation in highly competitive markets. Today, he's leading the AI journey at scale as head of Econet AI Zimbabwe. He's driving the development of an agentic AI framework to transform customer experience, network operations, and enterprise productivity. In parallel, he is also doing path-breaking work, applying AI in critical social sectors, including healthcare, education, as well as agriculture. Using technology to deliver real impact at scale. Under his leadership, Econet AI Zimbabwe has launched Africa's first enterprise-grade voice bot that you all know now as Yamurai, and the Cassava AI Run solution, both of which have been nominated for the Global Telecom Awards in MWC Barcelona in 2026. Showcasing African innovation on the global stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please may you join me in welcoming Mr. Navdeep Kapoor.
Thank you, Maria, for the kind introduction. Good morning, everyone, on the day 2 of the conference. This event is meant to inspire everyone, and I hope we are doing that job. I wanted to be personally present for this conference so that we can collaborate, communicate, and discuss some new ideas. But however, due to some personal exigency, I can't join you physically. But I want to walk through what Econet AI has done to solve Zimbabwe's problem using AI. So let me share with you what we have been doing and what we have been cooking for the last couple of months. So if we look at like history of technology, every scientist and every engineer has worked to solve a problem. They do not start with a big idea. They start with what problem they are going to solve in order to make life easier for everyone. For example, look at EcoCash. It has solved the problem of financial inclusion for unbanked customers. Internet, it has given the world knowledge in the pocket of every customer. So all these technologies evolution, they make it life easier for common man. That is the ultimate objective. If we go through a history of technology, every technology revolution, industrial revolution, had made life easier and made the ordinary man more empowered. But all the machines, earlier machines, they could only do a task. If you have a car, it can go from point A to point B. You tell him to solve any of the problem, it's not able to solve the problem. They can't think. They can only do tasks. But with the evolution of AI, it has changed. This is how the AI has evolved in the last couple of years. But what is our ultimate destination? Our ultimate destination is artificial general intelligence. So that AI can mimic the human intelligence. If you take a chess player, he might be a world champion, but there are a lot of other things it can do. It goes to office, it can do household chores. It is not limited by any set of activities. It is multidisciplinary. That's the power of human beings. And that's what we want to transfer to AI. AI to become multi-dimensional. And that's what the artificial general intelligence is supposed to do. And in the next couple of years, we are going to achieve the artificial general intelligence. So what is our approach at Econet AI? We want to use the AI technology to solve the problems of Zimbabwe and of Africa. We identify the problem, we see which technology to use to solve the problem. And we design a minimum viable product, a minimum viable solution. We test that in our lab. Once we see the results are successful, we launch it in the market. Secondly, Cassava AI has formed global leaderships, global partnerships. For example, Cassava AI has a partnership with NVIDIA, Google, Microsoft, which are the leading companies in AI technology. Because of our association with Cassava AI, we are able to bring all those technologies in Zimbabwe. That is the opportunity which is available to all of us here to capitalize on that. And I'll show you how we can benefit from these partnerships and how we can drive innovation and AI in Zimbabwe. Now, broadly, if you look at in layman's language, all the AI algorithms, they behave exactly like a child. If you have to teach a child a new language, math, science, you follow the same path when you teach the AI model these skills. And for teaching those AI models these skills, you need data. So data is the backbone of AI. Without data, there is no AI. So I want to show you what are the building blocks of artificial intelligence and how Econet AI is able to provide those building blocks. Data and compute are the building blocks, and now with the Cassava setting up the first AI factory in Africa, that compute is available. You know, earlier we used to have complaints from all the innovators, startups, enterprises, and that they cannot develop solutions on AI because they don't have compute, they don't have GPUs. But with Cassava AI partnership with NVIDIA, we have been able to bring GPUs in Africa. The second, after data and compute, what we need is so what Cassava AI has done is, it has done a partnership with all the leading large language models. We have partnership with Gemini, Claude, OpenAI, and all those large language models for the enterprises are available on a single place. You don't have to do a partnership and agreement with all these companies. You come to us and all large language models are available. Next thing which you need in the ecosystem is the logarithms. With our partnership with Google, Microsoft, and NVIDIA Deep Research, all those logarithms are available on a single place. Now, using this ecosystem, we can solve Zimbabwe's problem, whether it's agriculture, education, health, fintech, mining, telecom, governance. We can develop use cases using this ecosystem. And this ecosystem is available right now. And as we go along, we will show you how we have used that ecosystem in solving Zimbabwe's problem. And that opportunity is available to everyone in this conference to use this ecosystem to innovate, to start new startups, research labs, so that we can lead the AI space. And objective is to make life easier for everyone in Zimbabwe and everyone in Africa. I'm sure many of you are already using some AI tools. Either it's a chat GPT or it's an online translation when you visit a new country or voice assistance. But that is only the beginning. So we have identified there are three problems which we must solve at a very fast rate. The first is the health. If you see there is a shortage of doctors, surgeons in Zimbabwe and all across Africa, particularly in rural areas. An AI model can play a big role. It can't replace doctors, but it can complement and it can share the workload of doctors. It can be kind of a co-pilot of doctors. Because there is a limited number of patients a doctor can see in a day. But an AI agent can see thousands of patients simultaneously. There is a lot of research taking place in robotic surgeries. And we are trying to bring that solution where a doctor is there for every patient. So it is not limited by any infrastructure. Remote consultation is possible in certain diseases. Early detection is possible in certain diseases. After leaving the hospital, the postal care is possible from AI agents. And that can power will soon come in hands of in the Zimbabweans and across Africa. The second problem is education. We have identified that's a key issue which we have to work on. And you know, there is always a shortage of good quality teachers, particularly in the STEM areas, science, maths, technology, programming. And AI can play a big role. There can be a tutor for every student. It doesn't matter whether you are in a rural area or you are in an urban area, you are being taught by the best teacher. And another factor is you can design customized curriculum. Student does not have to go with the pace of a teacher in class because teacher in a class is teaching 60 students or 30 students. The AI tutor will work with the pace of a student and the level of difficulty is also customized. So it will get a student will get a personalized attention from the AI tutor. And that is something which we have been working on. The third sector which we have chosen is agriculture. We see using AI, we can double the yield of the farmer. There is a lot of scope for using AI, particularly in crop disease detection. It is customized to the location, it is customized to the weather. I'll share the solution which we are working on in a subsequent slide. So if you look at these three areas, education, health, and agriculture, these are the problems as Econet AI we have taken to solve for Zimbabwe as well as for Africa. I think AI can also help in improving the governance of the country. Government can use it for e-governance, for fraud detection, and the governance can become much more easier using AI. So, using these technologies, what's the future? Can we imagine a future with what we are getting into? How it will improve the quality of life of many people? Imagine a blind man is able to see using AI glasses. There are a lot of experiments which are going on right now. Imagine a paralyzed person is able to walk using the robotic AI. What kind of empowerment can happen and the improvement in the quality of life can happen? A child which can learn at its own pace. And it's not limited by availability of a good teacher in a particular area. A farmer which can double its yield. This can really transform our society. It's not a doctor for every clinic, it's a doctor for every patient. Imagine if there is a pandemic in a certain area, like we saw a pandemic few years like COVID. If we have an AI doctor, it can take care of multiple patients simultaneously. That is the future we are looking at using AI. What is our mandate? What is our objective? We want to solve Africa problems. We want Africa to lead, not to lag. We want Africa to develop, identify its problems and priorities and develop solutions using a technology. We should not be the importer of technology, but can become an exporter of technology. Because today, we have everything available, which if somebody, a researcher wants something in Silicon Valley, same ecosystem right now is available in Zimbabwe. So why we should not lead in this particular area? That's what we want to enable and inspire everyone in that direction. So now I'm going to show you some of the solutions, practical solutions which we have developed in telecom industry, in fintech industry, and the three sectors. But these are only the examples. Our labs are constantly working in solving the problems. But objective of this showing is not that to show off our work. We want to inspire you to start more research labs, more technology labs, and we are ready to partner and collaborate with all the researchers, scientists, and engineers which are ready to solve the problems of the country. I think some of you have seen Jamrai working in this conference. It can right now solve 80% of the problems which are customer calls, our helpline, or to go to the shop. And it is being trained every day, and it is becoming intelligent every day. It's available 24/7. It can work in multilingual, and right now it speaks English, but very soon it will start speaking Shona and Debele. We are working on that, and soon it will be able to speak all African languages. It can be used in any industry. Telecom is only an example. If you are in a banking industry, if you are in a hotel, we can offer you Jamrai if you have a customer interaction. And soon it will be agentic. What does it mean? We will give a target, like we give a target of a customer experience director, that the customer satisfaction has to be 90%. Similarly, we will give him a target that is that we want customer satisfaction to be 90%. So the agentic AI tool will think what it needs to do in order to make customer satisfaction at 90%. Whether it needs to launch a loyalty program, or there are some customer challenges it needs to solve, whether it needs to work with the technical department, whether it needs to work with the finance department, it'll do it. So it will become like a CXO, or the customer experience head. Right now it's doing a task. From a task oriented, it will become a goal oriented. And it's a short video which I want to share with you how our Jamrai is evolving.
Hi there, it's Yamarai here, and I am so excited to let you know that I have evolved and am now empowered to engage better with you. Before, I was only able to be structured responsive. That limited my ability to converse well with customers. But now, with the help of AI, my learning capabilities have enhanced. Ndakukwanisa kutaura nerurimi rwechirungu, chishona, pamandevere, nekuti muhurukuro ndinenge ndichiita nevanhu vakasiyana-siyana, ndinenge ndichitodzidza mazwi matsva nezvaanoreva. Ndinokumbuka vateereri mavakunyanza ndizwisise, zvano ndizwisisana navo nkhuluma navo, zvano kunyanza ndiphatise amakastoma nezikhalazo zabo okwezinga eliphezulu okungena msolo phakathi. I'm available round the clock.
Yeah. So, we identified one more problem, and which led to a origin of EcoChat. The problem was, if you look at smartphone penetration, it is around 60 to 65% in Africa. That means 35% of the population can't use ChatGPT because they do not have a smartphone. You need internet to use the ChatGPT. We developed the innovative solution. How can we make the ChatGPT and Gemini available for customers who do not have smartphones? people who have only got feature phones which can do SMS and voice. So we made the chat GPT and Gemini available on SMS and USSD. So if you have a $10 phone which does not have internet, you can still access the features of chat GPT and Gemini. This was done with the launch of EcoChat. This is another innovation which is done by us. The second problem is if you want to use if your usage is high, you need an international debit card or credit card to take a professional package of ChatGPT and Gemini. This solves that problem also. For EcoChat, you just need the EcoCat wallet and you can, without even international debit card and the credit card, you can continue using ChatGPT. So again, our focus is identify the problem and solve the problem. And technology is only a tool in solving the problem. These are some of the creatives when we launched this EcoChat last year. It is growing month on month. We know this problem has this product has a life cycle. Once we reach 100% smartphone penetration, then probably will not need this product, or it has to be reimagined. Econet AI is an education platform. Now, we have introduced a study mode. It is going to, objective is, it should be available on SMS, it should be available on WhatsApp, it should be available on voice, whichever means customer wants to use, or whichever technology customer is available. Supposing he does not have a smartphone, he still should be able to use AI for education. Our particular focus is on our STEM subjects. Our particular focus is on languages. So if you want to learn in Shona, you should be able to learn physics in Shona or debate. And we want it to be customized to the student pace. So every student will have his own teacher, our own tutor. And it is going to supplement what he learns in school. It designs the test, customized test, it increases the difficulty or reduces the difficulty, how the student is grasping the concept. I think this will bring another revolution in education in Africa in next few years. I was talking about agriculture. We are working on a product which is called Eco-Farmer AI. This is a very customized product. When you register on this product, it asks for the coordinates of your land. So that all the feedback is customized to your location. Because your agriculture is very, very location specific and weather specific. There are some areas where you can grow cotton. There are some areas where, so you can't have a generic input to the farmer. You can take pictures and videos, upload, and get the advice on how to do pest control and disease management. We have done testing of this platform with some 20,000 farmers, and they said that it really helps them in treating the pest and the disease. It helps in land preparation. It helps in making a plan with the farmers. Supposing you're growing a cotton, what should be the calendar? When you should harvest? When you should irrigate? What kind of pesticides to use to treat? So it makes the whole calendar. It can do weather forecast of your particular land for next 7 days. So we feel that this tool is going to double the yield of the farmers. And the current features are limited. We are going to continuously enhance the product. We are going to add more features. We are going to add the marketplace. And when we launch, there will be a continued enhancement of this AI to equip the farmer to double the yield. The next product which we have launched, I have talked about health. We call it Maisha Health AI. It can do remote consultation. You can ask for ambulance on demand. It can do the post-operative care. We are bringing a lot of AI tools in it. Idea is that, particularly in remote areas, you should have a doc for every patient. There is always a case of spread of cholera. There is a limitation on how many doctors are available during a pandemic. But this tool will help to treat multiple patients simultaneously. You know, I'm really proud to share this solution, although it is telecom specific, but it shows the power of leadership in Zimbabwe and in Africa. We have always been importer of technology. With this solution, we have become an exporter of technology. You know, whenever there is some network problem, it takes sometimes weeks to solve that problem. Using AI, we are able to solve that problem within 5 minutes. So what is the benefit for the customer? The network quality will improve. They will have a continuous connectivity. And that means they are always connected and they can continue with their work. And it will improve the efficiency of the network availability. But now this solution has been nominated for a global telecom award in MWC Barcelona. That will be the global recognition of African technology, which is developed internally in Africa. So I'd like to share a video of this particular solution for you to appreciate.
Speed is everything, because every delay is felt by the customer as dropped calls, slow data, or poor service. Yet network issues can take days to resolve. Fixing the tilt or power on a site takes an average of 4 days. Larger optimization tasks stretch to 2 weeks, sometimes 30 days. Engineers spend hours manually extracting data, cross-checking dashboards, writing scripts, and waiting through multi-level approvals. By the time solutions are deployed, customers have already experienced dropped calls, poor throughput, and disrupted service. Slow resolution means poor network performance for customers, and when customers are not satisfied, operators face higher churn and SLA penalties. Major optimization work can take more than a month. Even small fixes still consume several days. Multiplied across hundreds of sites and vendors, the cost in lost time, lost revenue, and lost trust is enormous. Cassava AI RAM is the first AI agent deployed on live 4G and 5G networks. Processes that previously consumed days or weeks are now completed in under 5 minutes. That's a 99.8% time saving. The agent continuously monitors live and historical network data.
So this is the solution. Now it's going for Global Mobile Award in 2026, which I talked about. So this is the idea of sharing this particular slide is that we can be a leader in technology. AI has arrived. Now the decision we have to make is whether we want to be the follower or we want to lead this technology. And the question is, are we ready to lead? With Cassava AI and Econet AI, we have built the ecosystem. We have brought all the enablers on your footstep. If you are passionate about solving any problem, we are available. We can collaborate. We can work together so that we solve problems and we lead AI. And ultimately, we don't not even solve Zimbabwe's problem, but Africa's problem, and we become exporter of the technology. That is my key message for today. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you so much for your time. Thank you for giving us insight. It's imperative for us to be at the epicenter of what is happening, and we appreciate you so much, sir. Please give him a round of applause one more time. As you can see, if you come in late, you miss a lot of the nuggets. All right, and These nuggets are exclusively here at Econet E-Novate Expo, where our theme is Future Ready Tech Synergies. Now, can you imagine you are literally a conversation away to connecting with him? And all you need to do is visit any of the stands outside, have a conversation with any of the Econet staff and executives, and you can begin a conversation in that direction. But how do you get the conversation not only in the direction, but to the right point? So we want to articulate this, and I want to find out from everyone in the room, if you need funding, please raise your hand. If you really need funding, put both your hands. Okay. Now this funding is for your startup, correct? For your innovation. So it's just on the same page. But our next discussion, ladies and gentlemen, is very exciting because we're going to provide you some ideas. Let's call it ideas. And I believe our panelists have some innovative ideas of how to get this across. But an exciting moderator, and I want to take a back seat because I've been waiting my whole life for an opportunity like this. So please listen very carefully for this very special announcement. Brian, could you come up very quickly? Listen very carefully. I've been waiting my whole life for this. My whole life. Professor Dr. Engineer, I've been waiting my whole life for this. My whole life. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I would like to introduce one of our best analysts, Mr. Arthur Evans. Everyone is quiet. I said I'd like to introduce Mr. Arthur Evans. Mr. Arthur Evans is a very special person because he's one of the most multi-award-winning and multi-talented private and creative entrepreneur. He's a highly sought MC, both highly national and international stages, as well as a respected television producer and media personality. Known for sharp business acumen, transformational leadership style, also Arthur is viewed as a reputation and a dynamic, forward-thinking businessman. His passion lies in speaking to people and activating what he calls power of momentum, inspiring individuals to rise to the next level of their personal journey. He's a very committed person and empowering African youth in business, helping them to unlock and express potential in meaningful ways. Arthur is also a philanthropist who gives back to community in various impactful ways each year. He serves as the financial director of Techno Experts Construction, PVT and LTD, a category as civil and building constructor with more than 30 of experience in industry. With over 18 of entrepreneurial experience, more than 15 years in senior management. Arthur plays a key role in driving the company's continued involvement in major construction projects across Zimbabwe, both private and public sector. This work continues in Techno Experts Construction as a significant partner in rebuilding and development of the nation. Arthur also serves as a CXAZ Southern Region Chairman from 2024 to date. So please give them the opportunity to speak to us. I have the wonderful honor of introducing our panelists, ladies and gentlemen. We are excited to speak to you about how you can answer that funding question. So today, please open your minds because what we're going to do is we're going to deposit ideas and make sure that we are going to answer the question regarding venture capital and startup funding in the digital era. Now you know why I asked you to raise your hand. Please, if you need funding, raise your hand. Okay, so we're speaking to the right people. First up, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call upon Mr. Tino Kambasha. He is a seasoned economist who is currently leading the country's National Venture Fund, a parastatal owned by the Ministry of Economic Development and Investment Promotion. He has over 18 years experience in senior executive roles and over 10 years experience sitting in various boards of large organizations. Please give him a round of applause. Next, I'd like to call upon Audrey Simbiso Chidawanyika. She is a global educator, an African policy strategist and innovation ecosystem builder, advancing the architecture of inclusive future-ready economies across emerging markets. Her work operates at the powerful intersection of policy, innovation, and human capital development, bringing governments, private sector, and innovation efforts to unlock the potential of startups, women, and youth-led enterprises in the digital age. Please give a big round. How many of you need money? Our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, is no stranger to money. George, the billionaire Munengwa of ProA, is a prominent Zimbabwean entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and business mentor. He is the founder and managing director of ProAir Zimbabwe, one of the country's leading suppliers of air conditioning, refrigeration, and ventilation systems. Please give him a round of applause. Our final panelists, are we saving the best for last? Not necessarily, but we are keeping it at a high level. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Petty Tiwanda. He is known as the Coach ZW. And Petty is an innovation strategist. He's a business coach and entrepreneur passionate about shaping Zimbabwe's startup and digital ecosystem. As managing partner of programs and leads at H25 Innovation Hub, he drives initiatives like the Value Creation Challenge, Zimbabwe's leading nationwide incubation and acceleration program. If you're not in that program, you might be in the wrong place. Thank you so much. All right, this is your panel, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's take the gloves off and let's begin. Tino, you're sitting right next to me, so you're in the line of fire straight away. We've got a lot of startups here, but what makes a Zimbabwean startup fundable today?
I think a lot of work needs to go into being investor ready. So the one thing that we've noticed with a lot of startups or innovations or new ideas is that a lot of companies aren't investor ready. So proof of concept, proof of numbers, you've looked at the market, you've got a base for the market, and you've done your homework. I think that's where we are kind of lacking, and it's kind of more difficult to fund projects, which that type of work hasn't been done. But it's been very interesting to see the great ideas about young people in this country. Fantastic. The projects being dealt with only 1 year old. The projects are really funded, the projects are really supported. Are great projects. So the ideas are good. It's just that extra work that needs to go into proving the idea, putting the research in, and showing it what
I would like to understand what does it mean to invest already? You run an innovation hub. You're dealing with startups so often, and you're perhaps I think you're the best placed person to maybe articulate what Tino's framed as investor ready. What does it mean to be investor ready, and what are investors' expectations?
Thanks so much for the opportunity. I think when we speak about what we are highlighting is there's a disconnect between the startup and the person who has the money. And the thing that connects the two of you is a real problem and real revenue generated. So when we also say investor readiness, giving an example, when people come to our incubation program, startups know so much about their business. They know the idea they want to run with, they're so convinced. But behind the idea of the business are key fundamentals that lack. Just to give you an example, very few startups actually keep clean financial records. And that's a big deal to investors. So before they even look at your idea, and well, they might love it, but they want to see the back end. So they want to see your governance and structure. They want to see your financial records. They want to see a little bit of traction. A lot of people have great ideas, but it's something of the past to actually say people invest into beautiful ideas
it was risky back then, hence the model changed. So now they're investing in some level of traction. And the moment our startups get into that space where they can prove that they've done something, they can validate that the market actually wants the product, and that their structures are well, and they're very disciplined with money, you are at least investor ready. There's so many other layers to it, but that is at least a startup approach.
Some startups here today will say, I believe I'm ready. In keeping financial, I have been trying to have some form of governance. But Audrey, maybe some of the pitfalls, maybe some of the mistakes are as plain as day, maybe they are hidden, because Pete is saying there's layers to this. What are some of the common mistakes that are made by startups when trying to get investor funding?
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Aga, for that question. I think it's a very personal question to me because I've worked so much with student entrepreneurs, with young entrepreneurs, and many times I see them pitching and I can see where they are falling short. But as a design thinking strategist, we always take it back to say, okay, let's take a step back. You may think that your idea is ready to be funded, but you've missed the basics. So the first thing that we see startups or entrepreneurs missing is actually demonstration of understanding the problem. Many times as startups and as founders, we are quick to prescribe solutions. So we design solutions from the basis of our knowledge of the problem, but without validating that the problem actually exists. So as a design thinking strategist, how I encourage businesses to understand that those who are closest to the problem holds the key to their answer. So your knowledge of the problem does not mean you understand it. So when you go in front of investors, they want you to demonstrate that you have done intense research about the problem and that it is a problem solution fit, and whatever product that you are offering, it's a product market fit. So understanding the problem and demonstrating in front of investors that you understand that the problem exists, you're validated, is one thing. The next thing that I see as a common pitfall is startups or founders treating investors like ATMs. You go in front of an investor and your goal is to get the money. But investors are humans like us. They want you to have a conversation with them. They want to understand the pain point that you're trying to solve. They want to see that, okay, the problem actually exists, and if we put money in it, then we'll be able to make some form of revenue, we'll be able to make it maybe 10x or 100x revenue, which is what they are looking to do. So that is another pitfall that comes with startups. Another pitfall is, of course, lack of knowledge of the investor. So what I've seen is you will find that an investor is a B2B SaaS investor, so B2B business to business, software as a service. And then the founder comes to pitch a consumer application. You have demonstrated that you do not understand the investor that is in front of you because you're giving them a wrong project or wrong business, and there's no interest in actually funding that. So researching about your investor, trying to understand what are their priority areas, what matters to them, why do they want to fund, gives you a competitive advantage to the people who are also looking for the same investment. Another thing is the buzzword bingo. You know, we want to talk about, blockchain-enabled, technology-powered, innovative solution, but the investor can actually see that you do not understand what you're talking about. These are just buzzwords that you're bringing to the investor, forgetting that they understand what it is that you're saying, but when you say it, you can't even back it up. So that becomes a pitfall. So being able to understand the language that the investor wants you to speak will help you to be able to get the funding that you're getting. And we also miss it out on the matrix as well. Many times you see a total attainable market slide where the founder is talking about, oh, we have got 100,000 people that we can attain, and what does that mean to an investor? Does it mean that these 100,000 people will continue sustainably to offer business? They want to understand what's the churn rate. You know, the churn rate is simply how much customers are we going to lose over time. So if you tell me, well, we've got 100,000 customers today, but in the next 2 months we lose 10,000, what does that mean to me as an investor? It means we've lost out on revenue. But we zero in on things that do not matter. They want metrics like your churn rate, they want to understand your revenue retention, they want to understand your customer acquisition cost. How much does it take to acquire a customer? And how much time does it take for us to pay back? So what I'm simply saying is, understand the investor, understand what they're looking for, and give them exactly that. Investments are relational. People want to invest in you because they feel connected to you. So investors are not ATM, they're humans. They are people who want to, to feel attached to the solution and understand that we can actually make money out of the solution.
I like the fact that you're humanizing the investor. Common mistake is that we do just want the money. We don't see the bridge to getting there. George, you've created a bridge in your life. You started from scratch. You built what you built practically. You're in a place where so many people here want to be in. If you were to offer advice for a startup, maybe they've been operating for 12 months, maybe just a startup that are looking to just take the first couple of steps, what are the 2 or 3 best practices that they could have in their business to ensure they at least get ready to speak to someone like you?
All right, thank you so much, and thank you to this amazing platform. One thing that I can definitely say is that today was offered totally free, and we can see the outcome. People who came here are people who are serious. And one thing that I personally inspired me at a young age to become the person I am was to hear the stories of other greats here in the country of Zimbabwe, like our very own Dr. Strive Masiora, who started an amazing enterprise, who today is now facilitating so much for so many people around the world. Now, one thing I've understood is that success leaves clues. If you want to become successful, you need to come to platforms like this and listen to other people who've made it and understand and put into practice what they also did for themselves. Now I'll talk about Dr. Strive. We all know the story. He had to sell his house. There's a lot of sacrifice that he had to do in terms of fighting to get the license for this amazing institution that he had. My question to you is, would you be able to sacrifice your vehicle? Some of the things that you keep complaining, you don't have capital, but you've got a nice phone, you've got all this. Are you willing to sacrificially get funding from investors, go and blow that money and be disciplined to think long term? And I think this is one of the greatest challenges entrepreneurs have, because they think, I just want to have money, but it comes with sacrifice. Discipline, it's a long-term game. It's like planting a seed into the ground. That tree is not going to blossom in a year or 2. You're not going to have returns anytime soon. It's a long game. And the moment we begin to see that entrepreneurship and startup is not something that is put in the microwave and it pops up and it's done. It's about being known for that thing that you are doing in the long term. I've been in business since 2012. And one thing that people know me for is air conditioning that I do. But for many of you, you've tried so many things and you've lost identity of what it is that when people say your name, they identify it with you. When we mention specific names in the country of Zimbabwe who are entrepreneurs, Philip Mataranika, something comes to your mind. Dr. Rebecca Chisamba, something comes to your mind. Ken Sharp, something comes to your mind. Zodwa Mkanda, something consistently comes to your mind because they have been consistent. So my advice to the young people who are here, it's important to be known for something. Stay true in that thing, be deeply rooted in it, fall in love with it so much that people can see the passion, the zeal that you have to become what you want to be. Thank you. I'm going to swing a question. I'm hoping you're going to lay the clues presently because I'm going to come to Tino. George has spoken about giving clues, he's talking about being consistent. And maybe I'm asking you to pitch your case for innovation, but yesterday we spoke about not working in silence, effective collaboration. What is the importance of accelerators, innovation hubs, in the future of tech synergies in Zimbabwe?
Okay, thank you for that question.
I want to start with this statement, which is our mantra always. Collaboration is the new innovation. I will also bring it back to a factor that a lot of people say, okay, we are the biggest hub, but it's not something that we actually personally boast of, because it actually shows how fragmented the ecosystem is. We don't know all, but what we've done is we've begun to attach ourselves to a lot of other institutes that we know have their spaces. So for instance, we don't have a skill in research and development, we connect with HIT or Brilliant. We need some tech solutions and entities that are very deep tech. EDC, connect with NAST. If you want some strong research paperwork theories, you connect with GZSU. What I'm trying to say is, most of these people don't even meet them face to face. As startups, you are not all-knowing, you are not all-present. The biggest weakness you will ever have within your company is not accepting that you need help from someone else. You're not in competition with anyone, you're in competition with yourself. And I think we need to be very particular when we actually say, what is a startup? A startup is not a business that is already thriving or that's expected to thrive tomorrow. But in definition, in terms of the dictionary, a startup is a temporary organization that is searching for a scalable and a repeatable business model. Those two words will tell you that you don't know it yet, and it's okay. Talk to someone who does. Pick up a clues, like George said. Repeatable, like what we said, is how much will it cost you to get that? That person doesn't necessarily need to be someone you know. You don't even see them face to face, and this is the fascinating thing about digital, is you just have to type it online and you can get the footprints, the answers that take you to the next level. So I think we really need to be very honest about where we stand, and that's the only time that you can get help. The job of an incubation or innovation hub or incubation or accelerator is to fill in the gaps that you are lacking. Within our program, the Valuation Challenge, a lot of people come in with the hope to get the funding. It is 3 months. At month number 2, they start telling us that, you know what, I don't think we need or care about the funding now. Because beyond just money, the startup needs 3 things. They need the people, they need the cash, and then they need the mentorship or partnerships. If you get any of these other set money, your business will probably grow faster than you ever imagined. Secondly, a question that came in was, that we get a lot is, I'm failing because I don't have funding. My mentor always said to me that you don't need funding to start, but you need it to scale. So when you hear I'm looking for funding and you haven't done it, don't look for the funding. Look for people who can get in front of your customers. Look for people who have knowledge that you don't have. Look for people who have been in it for a long time, and your growth will be exponential. The money just comes to your hands, and that's all you actually need, your team, the right people around you, and knowledge.
Thank you so much. Now, get on the discussion on bringing to you spoke of reputable businesses. You said that funding is not just about making money, it's about scaling. With the national view, how
to receive money for
how do we
free.
get
Fish need to work for
the
them.
incredible digital traction to unlock that funding that so many startups.
Thank you, Arthur. But firstly, before I speak, George and Katie spoke and everyone clapped, so when I finish speaking, please clap. I'm going to feel real bad if you don't. So I think basically my colleague had just mentioned that putting in the work, and I like what Katie said. A lot of people come looking for funding, and they come looking for you need money to do this. So us as the National Venture Fund, what we do is scale, right? So we prove that it's there, it works. We come in and we scale it up. So you can come from the incubation hubs, and you've shown us that the idea works, and we just come in and just scale. And another thing that Odi also mentioned was that we take into consideration the character of the person. It's very key. So when you come and you're pitching and currently we've got this attitude as a nation generally of, you know, this is for free or this youth fund or this and that, right? So we've got this attitude of free things and we just want to go the only give you. It's not like that. You really have to show that you as an individual, as a person of what you actually are someone who we can work with. You're someone who has the bigger picture at hand. You're someone who sees the scale that George mentioned. You're someone who's solving a problem, right? So what we're trying to do now currently is that we are actually working like with the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, because we've seen a lot of ideas that are coming from the young people, but are not necessarily addressing the problem. So we are actually going to the companies and saying, what is the problem? Downtown, what is the problem? Shifts, what is the problem? You know, and then we go back and then fund the project that is solving a specific problem as a nation. So I think the character, solving a problem, and actually addressing issues is what we look at when we look at projects.
I'll offer this question to any of the panelists, so you can just raise your hand if you want to take this on. Now, funding comes in different ways. Okay. And my question is what types of blended financing models, such as grants, revenue-based financing, partnerships, corporate, government-backed innovation funds, are most viable about
So we have three forms of financing, that we can put in market of founders, startups, like you mentioned, we've got grants that we are also part of an India way because they're probably being offered to embassies, to non-governmental organizations. So grants, other people call it free money because you're not exposed to it. You're just getting a grant, and they help you, then we have what we call debt financing. Debt financing, those are your loans that you get from banks or people who microfinance institutions, money, but they require interest in here. Then we also have what we call convertible loan financing. So this convertible loan financing is what you get it as debt financing, especially for loan, but over a period of time, it's now converted into equity. Depending on performance of your business and how confident they can get that now buy shares in your company. And then we have what we call equity financing, where now somebody comes and puts in money and they think that this money that they're putting in, we are getting the shares. And I'm sure it's part of what the National Venture Fund does. To say we are putting $500,000 into business. So they pretty much own a part of the business. So that is less risky because with debt financing now you have to pay the interest. But with equity financing, they are part of the business. So they also now put in effort to ensure that the business has going concern so that they're able to get dividends at the end of the day. So it all depends with what you're looking for in the size of your business. You want debt financing, the institution can give. If you want to blend it, like maybe say you want debt and equity, it now depends with what you see works for you and your business. But allow me to just slide in another perspective to it as well. So with all these financing mechanisms that we have, it's a conversation because of course on the panel, Tino is a colleague, there's a colleague in George as well. So it's one of the things that I'm always talking to them about, and I've become like a chatterbox, which is policy. Like I'm always asking, okay, we're talking about financing and all that, but do we have policies that are backing up these funding mechanisms that are here? Are our policies enabling our businesses to be able to scale? As it stands, we do not have a National Startup Act, as Teddy rightfully put it. A startup is a temporary organization that is
heavily experimenting, looking for a solution that can be able to scale. But have we enabling environment policy-wise to allow startups to be able to experiment? Because from what I know, from the experience I have working in the ecosystem, here in Zimbabwe, startups are treated as SMEs. And sometimes, well, most of the time, it's really frustrating for people who are trying to come up with ideas, people who are trying to solve some of the pressing challenges that we have, because they are walking their uncharted paths, and they require us to give them support to be able to experiment, to innovate. But if we're not giving them tax incentives, if we're not giving them government-backed funding mechanisms that are backed by a regulatory environment, then it becomes difficult for startups to scale. And this is a very, very emotional subject for me as someone who works in the ecosystem, because I see businesses dying. You know, when you go to innovation hubs, most of these projects that are in innovation hubs, is either I've mentored them as a design thinking facilitator through the Enactus program, or through the UNICEF Generation Unlimited, or through various programs. And then when they take them to universities to scale, there are no policies or regulations that create an enabling environment for these projects to actually take off. So they become displays and exhibitions in innovation hubs. So in terms of policy, we can actually do better. And policy is not just for people like, you know, it's for everyone. Policy is for all of us. We need to advocate. We need to lobby. All of us who are affected, we need to speak about it. Tino's office is very open. If you go to him, they will definitely assist. But what are we doing as founders, startups, to fight for that environment that enables us to be able to thrive? So I think it's something
in terms of fight, because that's the student. He's a student in our competitions AI.
And then
All of our group are achieving.
to know from you as well, after this Kabasha comment, what are the immediate gaps? What are the immediate gaps with startups that need to be addressed immediately? Right? Maybe 2 or 3. But with Kabasha, please comment on the policy.
We are working on the Startup Act. So basically,
What's the number?
the different sectors, whether it's the NGOs, it's the companies, the startup companies themselves, we're bringing in business as well, we're bringing in the development banks, TPP, we're also working with UN Habitat and NGP. So the Startup Act, the thing is, it's a bit of a lengthy process, because we don't copy and paste whatever happened in Kenya or Singapore, whatever. We want solutions that work for us locally. So what we then want to do is to have an act that then attracts other investors who want to. So you've got your pension funds, your insurance companies, high net worth individuals who then want to invest in prescribed asset status, tax incentives, and stuff like that. So it is in the pipeline. We're only a year old, but yeah, obviously at this time we should end that.
I think that deserves an answer. So what that means, everyone that's here, you have to keep a close ear, because that will leverage things in your favor. But George, what are other immediate gaps? I think the issue of startups that many of us, with the sense of we need to be funded, we need to get the loans, we need to get money from somewhere. And this is why my major inspiration in the country, Dr. Brian, started by selling his own house. Now, you find out banks here locally in the country, they give youth money. And I think all of us know this. Money amplifies courage. And most of these startups don't have a good character. But if you get 100,000, immediately, we're going to go and buy that car, it's a nice car, you're going to, the inner you is going to manifest with money. And unfortunately, that's the challenge. We're not funded for great because the people that we have, which is one state you always emphasizes in his mentorship programs, all of us here. You have people who want to need funding to start this business, but what have you done with the issues that you have?
in order for us to help you scale up. So a startup is not something that gets money from any institution to run your business. No. People come and help to amplify what we have already started. That's what the purpose of all of us here are trying to help. But if you think, no, I must get money
from our experience, people they study helping
going
you
to
when they
take
see you
you
doing
many
something,
years of sitting and
not
coming
just sitting with a zero thing.
and you expect somebody to plant that seed that you're holding in your hand. You must first plant it in the ground, water it with the little water you have. Once it grows, people see the potential.
That's
then
true.
they also come and give you some fertilizer on your already existing business. So we must get away from I need funding, because you don't need funding. You need to use what you have. The little that you have, a little on a little soon becomes something. And once it's scalable enough, you approach people who can assist you. And I think there's a program that's there online. And I urge all of you, you know, the word of God says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And when you go to, you know, you look for the Zintrade, Econet, I'm a judge on that platform, look at how others increase their businesses. They were marked, they were told what was right and what's wrong. You also need to begin to learn from such institutions and actually become knowledgeable enough to know that, oh, okay, these people did this and they succeeded, these did this and they did it. So it's important that let's not blame the country, let's not blame lack of money, but blame yourself for not actually starting, because there's nobody, and I repeat, there's nobody who's going to come and plant that seed. That is so powerful. Character is so important, because you also have character. And they say your attitude determines your altitude. Another gap that's good.
I think the responsible gap that was quite is what used to be with a lot of my time. And a lot of startups don't know a lot of things in their business. The reason I say that is their basics, like extreme basics, risk and compliance. Okay, let me show you. How many people are a registered company as a startup? Can you raise your hand? I'd say less than 20%. Less than 20%, right? For those that have the company documents, how many shares are you allowed to sell? The original only document. Who knows?
Me.
You didn't know?
I didn't read the terms.
Right. Which is the very saying, what company document that tells you you've got this amount of shares to sell? Your company
Paying tax.
On the documents, they also file. You want to go to Tino and ask for 5. Tino is going to say, I want 40% of the business or 30%, and he'll give you the money. But how are you going to deal with the governance issues with the background? Because maybe it's just, you all don't go together, right? You know? Someone is going to meet Mr. K here, you're going to talk, like, great, I like the idea, let's do this. Yes, possibility of 50K to invest in it, but then you haven't spoken to your team. You don't even know how much the person is supposed to get as a percentage. I know we've written it down on the document. I will get 90%, he gets 2%, this one 3. In fact, some of us don't even know because we paid someone to register the company for us, right? Which is a big red flag. So we need to know things that are needed to be known in this startup. Things to do with finances. You do not have to be an accountant. You just need to know when you're being conned or you need to know basics of management. You need to know basics of building a team. So for instance, the reason why I mentioned these 3 as a basic, a lot of people come in and say, okay, you 85, they also do mutual, we need funding. And I'm like, have you ever done your own due diligence? Jojo, I'm like, until you know that, you have no story to talk about. Because just doing your own personal due diligence before it's done for you. And there's an example that we have in our space is, I won't mention names because, you know, he didn't have due diligence, but his business was perfect. The idea was amazing. Eventually they got funded, shy over $1 million. But when he came back to speak to the startups, knowledge that he had gained through the experience of
equipping your business, structuring out the HR, the financial systems, the governance aspects. He came in and he said, guys, I would have saved 4 years of my life because the due diligence process alone took over 4 years. So those people are thinking that you can walk up into a company and say, I want funding about there. It takes a very long time. So the greatest asset you have is the resilience. What can you do today before you get the funding? Most of, I think we've got over 5 startups that were in the 85 space that didn't get the funding here. And this is my last point. They didn't get the funding locally. Because the first thing we taught, or we tell them, or we equip them is work locally, but think globally. Because to be very honest, you may have the best idea, but the market is a bit small. Our population is small. It's different if you create a brilliant toothbrush in Nigeria, you're a millionaire tomorrow. In Zimbabwe, it's completely different. So we always ask them to think outside the borders. If your business or the startup you have today doesn't see the vision of scale, you need to keep working. Look for scale, and funding won't come naturally because they look at those tractions. Tino was speaking about the big digital traction, or you then reinforce it with the customer acquisition cost. That is digital traction. With your business, there's so much you can do today to stand in front of someone with money and say, look, in me, I sell gadgets. I've got 100 customers that come in every month, and this is my record for 5 months. I'm making probably $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Do you know that person is more likely to put money in your business than if I go and I say I've got the next world-changing idea in healthcare, but I don't have anyone who subscribes to that. So that kind of traction, and when you say the digital aspect, is you've got your gadgets. Use that as traction. A lot of people do not maximize on the digital footprint that they have. Thank you.
Now, you spoke of something a bit scary, equity. I've come across some people that don't want to sell their business. They want to own 100% of that small thing, as much as possible for as long as possible. At the same time, they're having a conversation with you, saying, we want international funding. We want local funding. What is a safe way for startups to approach international and local investors and still maintain a sense of pride, indigenous pride, without relocating? I think sometimes there's a temptation to relocate. So how do we, what's a safe equity level to continue the economy and continue the business?
I think it depends. And what I always say to businesses that are looking to equity financing and they're looking at, oh, I might use my business. The question is, what 100% of the zero compared to maybe about 60% of what million dollars, right? So you might go for 100% of nothing, but be able to give away 40% to get something that will actually give you a higher return on investment or a higher return on whatever you're doing. By getting the equity, you're able to do your business 10x or 100x instead of holding on to the into that you have. And I think it's a conversation that you need to have with your investor. Also understand how much, it's a win-win situation. How much are they giving and how much are you also giving? And does it make sense? You know, so you need to look at that. And in my experience working across the African ecosystem and seeing how angel investors, venture capitalists do it, it's a conversation between the businesses that they fund and getting investment advisory. So not just walking into a deal without understanding the deal flow. So have people who help you with the deal flow participation. People will help you to understand the decision that you're about to make and what it means in the next 5, 10, 15 years. That will help you, you know. If you are a Zimbabwe-based company, you're looking to operate at a global level, so you have a global ambition that you want to execute locally, then it means that you have to look at how do you compete with Lagos? How do you compete with Silicon Savannah, which is North Nairobi, Silicon Valley? And for you to be able to get to that level, then you will have to give. You will have to give, you will have to get money, and you will have to get money, but you have to give away as well. So understanding the decision that you're about to make, I think it's really important before you get to make the deal. So having investment advisors, having legal people, and then to walk you through the process of what you're trying to do. I know many times with startups, we don't go through that due diligence, you know, like can we talk to an investment advisor, can we talk to legal practitioners to walk us through the decisions that we're making. Many times we're excited because, oh, it's 100,000, it's 200,000, what does it mean? Oh, I'm gonna be. But without understanding what are the implications of you taking that 100,000 in exchange of maybe say 60% of your equity. So knowledge is always power. Covering that information gap, having the rightful professionals to walk you through the decision that you're about to make will help you make the best investment.
Okay, I love that.
Yes, when you say something, actually, we've done some work with Audrey with a number of startups, and I think this is one thing they also overlook. When you're doing an equity deal, this is what I tell you. It also comes back to that, know what you're getting into. Every deal you're getting into is taking a share of your cake, right? You need to know, number one, where you're getting a benefit, how much money they actually have. Because someone will come to you with 100K, you've got an amazing business. It's going to need more than $100,000 in the next 5 years, maybe you're going to need 4 million. So and so. If you're happy and you go shopping, you buy anything. If you're starving for cash to start up and someone just comes to you even with $20,000 and you give them 50%, you are most likely to do it. But the reason why George said, work with what you have, because once you give someone 50%, there's going to be another factor. You're going to get to a certain level, right? Observe and see your business. They have more money, they come there, but they say we want 40%. Where's it going to come from? You've locked yourself in a deal with a low budget person who say they will fund you. But the people with the real money come because you've now built a level of traction, but you've got nothing to sell. That's when you hear other issues of companies saying, they took my business, because we're 35% of the company, we have no control. We don't see the making power. So get to know, like what was saying, sit down with financial advisors. I'm sure there's so many here. They will tell you that this is a good deal, this is a bad deal. If you don't get to an innovation hub, they've got the facilities, whether it's standing, like ABC, it can be 8 to 5, whoever. They've got financial teams, legal teams that will look through the paper and advise you. What can you sell? What should you sell? That's what I want to say.
Thank you so much. Ambassador, I'm going to come to you, still on the topic of equity and the portion of your business. Is there an appetite, a specific appetite, a specific sector that your organization is looking at? And secondly, are there sectors that you would advise the startups here to really consider considering the trajectory of
thanks for that. So we pride ourselves in not looking at any sector specifically. If you look at our portfolio of investments we've made this year, it's across the board. So you've got agro-processing, you've got fintech, some of the projects are from PhD, we've got telehealthcare, and I'm actually in the space, I'm trying to also work in the space of the arts sector, because I think that's also the area that has been neglected, especially with the youth. We need to find new innovations and new ways of communicating or getting a message across. So we do not pick a specific sector. Obviously, the 3 main sectors in countries that are dominant are obviously fintech, mining, and agriculture, just because of this, just generally because of how our country is and what we're. So those are the main areas that you find most projects are focused on. So we don't specifically look at any areas, but we do have 5 pillars. We're a government institution, so we also abide by how we can assist with NDS2 to see how we can make that vision of 2030 come across. And we look at women, youth, community development, previously disadvantaged people, and devolution. So we really pride ourselves, but we're not saying that's where we're focused in, but if we get a woman-led project in Rwanda, that is speaking to innovation, that is solving a solution to the nation, that project will be a priority, definitely. Yeah, we try and balance out and also just try and even up the playing field, because generally, if anyone goes to a bank today, either they don't have collateral, they don't have any security whatsoever, nobody's willing to bet on them, which is what you were saying, that we then take an equity stake in the business, and we play a background. We never want anything above 50% ever. We're not in the business of running businesses, right? So we take an equity stake, we stay in the background of the business. Obviously, we have to have your financials and reporting every month, and we monitor and help you where we can. If you need access to certain markets or certain offices or certain ministries, we assist you in that. But we take a back seat. You just have to run your business professionally. And then eventually, we want to exit your business. So at the list on, we're coming up with a new stock exchange for SMEs, hopefully next year. So we want to either list or you buy back. Your business is grown. We have agreed on the value of the business, buy back our shareholding, so we can give someone else that money. So we're not in the business of running business. I mean, unless we invest in Econet, of course. Then we obviously want to stick in the dividends. But generally, invest and then we leave it back. So,
thank you so much. In a very practical approach, talking about sectors, as a business, from your experience, if you were to say maybe 2 areas that you feel the business will need solutions for, the keynote speaker said that you first need to identify what the problem is. It's no good coming up with a good idea. Identify the need. Maybe, as you said, there's clues to success. What are the breadcrumbs at the moment in Zimbabwe from what you see in the business landscape? Okay. For this
All right, so how many of you like money? Show of hands. I've got the money in my hand.
It's like and he did the same. Like and need. I need money, I don't like money. I don't like money, I need money.
Let's give him a big round.
What's your money? Okay, no money.
I've got some money in my hand. Who wants some money? All right. I've got some money in my and run and going right. Now this opportunity was open for everybody here. Others don't time, and that's exactly what happened. There's a
Ini ndatofunga kuti zvine musoro kubva ndatofunga kuti zvine musoro chibva pesa shababa iri 12 Anything they're going to do like a serious, presentations. I know that I have to wait for the money. Man, do me rebana. I don't know the end. Match ended the life.
I not disrespect
Manzeri,
myself.
don't put your numbers. I love black people.
Number
Plus 2 655 in the life.
It live.